Everything is the Light, an interview with Nikola Tesla. Part of this interview is dedicated to Tesla's critics on Einstein's theory of relativity that discards the ether as energy. Journalist: Mr. Tesla, you have gained the glory of the men who got involved in the cosmic process. Who are you, Mr. Tesla? Tesla: it is a right question, Mr. Smith, and I will try to give you the right answer to it. Journalist: some say you are from the country of Croatia, from the area called Lika, where together with the people are growing trees, rocks, and starry sky. They say that your home village is named after the mountain flowers, and that the house you were born in is next to the forest and the church. Tesla: really, all it true. I'm proud of my Serbian origin and my Croatian homeland. Journalist: futurists say that the 20th and 21st century was born in the head of Nikola Tesla. They celebrate conversely magnetic field and sing hymns to induction's engine. Their creator was called the hunter who caught the light in his net from the depths of earth, and the warrior who captured fire from heaven. Father of alternating current will make the physics and chemistry dominate half of the world. Industry will proclaim him as their supreme saint. A banker for the largest benefactors. In the laboratory of Nikola Tesla, for the first time, is broken atom. There is created a weapon that causes earthquake vibrations. There are discovered black cosmic rays. 5 races will pray for him in the temple of the future, because they had been taught a great secret that Empedocles' elements can be watered with the light forces from the ethers. Tesla: yes, these are some of the most important discoveries. I am a defeated man. I have not accomplished the greatest thing I could. Journalist: what is that, Mr. Tesla? Tesla: I wanted to illuminate the whole earth. There is enough electricity to become a second sun. Light would appear around the equator as a ring around Saturn. Mankind is not ready for the great and good. In Colorado Springs, I soak the earth by electricity. Also, we can water the other energies, such as positive metal energy. They are in the music of Bach or Mozart, or in the verses of great poets. In the earth's interior, there are energies of great joy, peace, and love. Their expressions are like a flower that grows from the earth, the food we get out of her, and everything that makes man's homeland. I've spent years looking for the way that this energy could influence people. The beauty and scent of roses can be used as medicine, and the sun rays as food. Journalist: what are these things? Tesla: one issue is food. What a stellar and terrestrial energy to feed the hungry on earth, with what wine watered all thirsty, so they can get cheer in their hearts and understand that they are gods. Another thing is to destroy the power of evil and suffering in which man's life passes. They sometimes occur in the epidemic of the depths of space. In this century, the disease had spread from Earth to the universe. The third thing is Is there an excess light in the universe? I discovered a star that by astronomical and mathematical laws could disappear, and that nothing seems to be modified. This star is in this galaxy. Its light can occur in such a density that it fits into a sphere smaller than an apple and heavier than our solar system. Religions and philosophies teach that man can become the Christ, Buddha, and Zoroaster. What I'm trying to prove is wilder and almost unattainable. This is what to do in the universe, so every being is born as Christ, Buddha, or Zoroaster. I know that gravity is prone to everything you need to fly, and my intention is not to make flying devices, aircraft, or missiles, but to teach individual to regain consciousness of his own wings. Further, I am trying to awake the energy contained in the air. There are main sources of energy. What is considered as empty space is just a manifestation of matter that is not awakened. No empty space on this planet, nor in this universe. In black holes, what astronomers talk about are the most powerful sources of energy and life. Journalist. On the window of your room in Hotel Waldorf, Austria, on the 33rd floor, every morning the birds arrive. Tesla. A man must be sentimental towards the birds. This is because of their wings. Human had them once, the real and visible. Journalist. You have not stopped flying since those distant days in Smelgen. Tesla. I wanted to fly from the roof, and I fell. Children's calculations could be wrong. Remember, the youth wings have everything in life. Journalist. Have you ever married? It is not known that you have affection for love or for a woman. Photos from the youth show that you were a handsome man. Tesla. Yes, I did not. There are two views. A lot of affection or not at all. The center serves to rejuvenate the human race. Woman for certain people nurtures and strengthens its vitality and spirit. Being single does the same to other people. I choose that second path. Journalist. Your admirers are complaining that you are attacking relativity. The strange is your assertion that the matter has no energy. Everything is imbued with energy. Where is it? Tesla. First was energy, then matter. Journalist. Mr. Tesla, it's like when you said that you were born from your father and not on you. Tesla. Exactly. What about the birth of the universe? Matter is created from the original and eternal energy we know now as light. It's shown, and there have been a pure star, the planets, man, and everything on Earth and in the universe. Matter is an expression of infinite forms of light, because energy is older than it. There are 4 laws of creation. The first is the source of all the baffling, dark plot that the mind cannot conceive or mathematics measure. In that plot fit the whole universe. The second law is spreading a darkness, which is the true nature of light, from the inexplicable, and it's transformed into the light. The third law is the necessity of the light to become a matter of the light. The fourth law is no beginning and no end. Three previous laws always take place, and the creation is eternal. Journalist. In the hostility to the theory of relativity, you go so far that you hold lectures against its creator at your birthday parties. Tesla. Remember, it not curved space, but the human mind which cannot comprehend infinity and eternity. If relativity has been clearly understood by its creator, he would gain immortality, even yet physically, if he is pleased. I am part of a light, and it is the music. The light fills my six senses. I see it, hear, feel, smell, touch, and think. Thinking of it means my sixth sense. Particles of light are a written note. A bolt of lightning can be an entire sonata. 1,000 balls of lightning is a concert for this concert. I have created a ball of lightning which can be heard on the icy peaks of the Himalayas. About Pythagoras and mathematics, a scientist may not and must not infringe on these two. Numbers and equations are signs that mark the music of the spheres. If Einstein had heard these sounds, he would not create the theory of relativity. These sounds are the messages to the mind that life has meaning, that the universe exists in perfect harmony, and its beauty the cause and effect of creation. This music is the eternal cycle of stellar heavens. The smaller star has completed composition and also part of the celestial symphony. The man's heartbeats are part of the symphony on earth. Newton learned that the secrets in the geometric arrangement and motion of celestial bodies. He recognized that the supreme law of harmony exists in the universe. The curved space is chaos. Chaos is not music. Einstein is the messenger of the time of sound and fury. Journalist: Mr. Tesla, do you hear that music? Tesla: I hear it all the time. My spiritual ear is as big as the sky we see above us. My natural ear I increased by the radar. According to the theory of relativity, two parallel lines will meet in infinity. By that, Einstein's curve will straighten. Once created, the sound lasts forever. For a man it can vanish, but continues to exist in the silence that is man's greatest power. No, I have nothing against Mr. Einstein. He is a kind person and has done many good things, some of which will become part of the music. I will write to him and try to explain that the ether exists, and that particles are not what keep the universe in harmony, and that life is eternity. Journalist: tell me please, under what conditions angels adopt on the earth? Tesla: I have 10 of them. Keep good records vigilant. Journalist: I will document all your words, dear Mr. Tesla. Tesla: the first requirement is a high awareness of its mission and the work to be done. It must, if only dimly, exist in the early days. Let us not be falsely modest. Oak knows that it is oak tree, a bush beside him being a bush. When I was 12, I had been sure I will get to Niagara Falls. For most of my discoveries, I knew in my childhood that I would achieve them. although not entirely apparent. The second condition to adapt is determination. All that I might, I finished. Journalist. What is the third condition of adjustment, Mr. Tesla? Guidance for all the vital and spiritual energies in labor. Therefore, purification of the many effects and needs that man has. I therefore have not lost anything, but just gained. So I enjoyed every day and night. Write down Nikola Tesla was a very happy man. The fourth requirement is to adjust the physical assembly with work. Journalist. What do you mean, Mr. Tesla? Tesla. First, the maintenance of the assembly. Man's body is a perfect machine. I know my circuit and what's good for him. Food, what nearly all people eat. To me is harmful and dangerous. Sometimes I visualize that chefs in the world are all in conspiracy against me. Touch my hand. Journalist. It was cold. Tesla. Yes. Bloodstream can be controlled, and many processes in and around us. Why are you frightened, young man? Journalist. It's a story that Mark Twain wrote, A Mysterious Stranger, that wonderful book of Satan, inspired by you. Tesla. The word Lucifer is more charming. Mr. Twain likes a joke. As a child, I was healed once by reading his books. When we met here and I told him about, he was so touched that he cried. We became friends and often came to my lab. Once he requested to show him a machine that vibration provokes a feeling of bliss. It was one of those inventions for entertainment. What I sometimes like to do. I warned Mr. Twain as not to remain under these vibrations. He did not listen and stayed longer. It ended up by being like a rocket holding his pants darted into a certain room. It was diabolically funny, but I kept the seriousness. But to adjust the physical circuit in addition to food, dream is very important. From a long and exhausting work, which required superhuman effort, after 1 hour of sleep, I'd be fully recovered. I gained the ability to fall asleep and wake up in the time which I have designated. If I do something what I do not understand, I force myself to think about it in my dream, and thus find a solution. The fifth condition of adjustment is memory. Perhaps in the most people, the brain is keeper of knowledge about the world and the knowledge gained through the life. My brain is engaged in more important things than remembering. It is picking what is required at the given moment. This is all around us. It should only be consumed. Everything we once saw, hear, read, and learn accompanies us in the form of light particles. To me, these particles are the obedient and faithful. Godus Faust, my favorite book. I learned in my heart in German as a student, and now it can all recite. I held my inventions for years in my head, and only then I realized them. Journalist. You often mention the power of visualization. Tesla. I might have to thank visualization for all that I have invented. The events in my life and my inventions are real in front of my eyes, visible as each occurrence or the item. In my youth, I was frightened of not knowing what it is, but later I learned to use this power as an exceptional talent and gift. I nurtured it and jealously guarded. I also made corrections by visualization on most of my inventions and finished them that way. By visualization, I mentally solve complex mathematical equations. For that gift I have, I receive high-rank Lama in Tibet. My eyesight and hearing are perfect, and dare to say stronger than other people. I hear the thunder of 150 miles away, and I see colors in the sky that others cannot see. This enlargement of vision and hearing I had as a child. Later I consciously developed. Journalist. In youth, you have several times been seriously ill. Is it a disease and a requirement to adapt? Tesla. Yes. It is often the result of lack of exhaustion or vital force, and often the purification of mind and body from toxins that have accumulated. It is necessary that man suffers from time to time. The source of most disease is in the spirit. Therefore, the spirit can cure most of the diseases. As a student, I got sick of cholera, which raged in the region of Laika. I was cured because my father finally allowed me to study technology, which was my life. Illusion for me was not a disease, but the mind's ability to penetrate beyond the 3 dimensions of Earth. I had them all my life, and have received them as all other phenomena around us. Once in childhood, I was walking along the river with my uncle and said, "From the water will appear the trout. I'll throw a stone and it is cut." That's what happened. Frightened and amazed, his uncle cried. He was educated and spoke in Latin. I was in Paris when I saw my mother's death. In the sky, full of delight and music, floated our wonderful creatures. One of them had a mother's character, who was looking at me with infinite love. As the vision disappeared, I knew that my mother died. Journalist. What is the 7th adjustment, Mr. Tesla? Tesla. The knowledge of how the mental and vital energy transform into what we want and achieve control over all feelings. Hindus call it Kundalini Yoga. This knowledge can be learned. For what they need many years or is acquired by birth. The most of them are required by birth. They are in the closest connection with a sexual energy that is after the most widespread in the universe. The woman is the biggest thief of that energy, and thus the spiritual power. I've always knew that and was alerted. Of myself, I created what I wanted. A thoughtful and spiritual machine. Journalist. And the ninth adjustment, Mr. Tesla? Tesla. Do everything that any day, any moment, if possible. Not to forget who we are and why we are here on Earth. Extraordinary people who are struggling with illness, privation, or the society which hurts them with its stupidity, misunderstanding, persecution, and other problems which the country is full of, swamps with insects, leaves behind unclaimed until the end of the work. There are many fallen angels on earth. Journalist. What is the 10th adaptation? Tesla. It is most important. Write that Mr. Tesla played. He played the whole of his life and enjoyed it. Journalist. Mr. Tesla. Whether it relates to your findings and your work, is this a game? Tesla. Yes, dear boy. I have so loved to play with electricity. I also cringe when I hear about the one, also the Greek, who stole fire. A terrible story about stubbing an eagle's peck at his liver. Did Zeus not have enough lightning and thunder, and was damaged for one favor? There is some misunderstanding. Lightning are the most beautiful toys that can be found. Do not forget that in your text stand out, Nicola Tesla was the first man who discovered lightning. Journalist. Mr. Tesla. You're just talking about angels and their adaptation to this earth. Tesla. Am I? This is the same. You could write this. He dared to take upon himself the prerogatives of Indri, Zeus, and Peron. Imagine one of these gods in a black evening suit, with the bowler hat, and wearing white cotton gloves. Prepares lightning, fires, and earthquakes to the New York City elite. Journalist. Readers love the humor of our paper, but you confuse me stating that your findings, which have immense benefits for the people, representing the game, many will frown on it. Tesla. Dear Mr. Smith, the trouble is that people are too serious. If they were not, they would be happier and much longer would have lived. Chinese proverb says that the seriousness reduces life. Let's get back to things which they consider important. Journalist. They would love to hear what your philosophy is. Tesla. Life is a rhythm that must be comprehended. I feel the rhythm and direct on it and pamper in it. It was very grateful and gave me the knowledge I have. Everything that lives is related to a deep and wonderful relationship. Man and the stars, Omebus and the sun, the heart and circulation of an infinite number of words. These ties are unbreakable, but they can be tamed and perpetuate and begin to create new and different relationships in the world, and that does not violate the old. Knowledge comes from space. Our vision is its most perfect set. We have two eyes, the earthly and spiritual. It is recommended that it became one eye. Universe is alive in all its manifestations, like a thinking animal. Stone is a thinking sentient being, such as a plant, beast, and a man. A star that shines asks to look at. And if we were not sizable, self-absorbed, we would understand its language and message. His breathing, his eyes, and ears of the man must comply with breathing, eyes, and ears of the universe. Journalist. As you say this, it seems to me I hear Buddhist texts, words or Taoist, Perizult, Usa. Tesla. That's right. This means that there is a general knowledge and truth that man has always possessed. In my feeling and experience, the universe has only one substance and one supreme energy with an infinite number of manifestations of life. The best thing is that the discovery of a secret nature reveals the other. One cannot hide. They are around us, but we are blind and deaf to them. If we emotionally tie ourselves to them, they come to us themselves. There are a lot of apples, but one Newton. He asked for just one apple that fell in front of him. Journalist. A question that might be set at the beginning of this conversation. What was electricity for you, dear Mr. Tesla? Tesla. Everything is electricity. First was the light, endless source which points out material and distribute in all forms that represent the universe and the earth with all its aspects of life. Black is the true face of light, only we do not see this. It is a remarkable grace to man and other creatures. One of its particles possesses light, thermonuclear, radiation, chemical, mechanical, and unidentified energy. It has the power to run the earth with its orbit. It is true Archimedean lever. Journalist. Mr. Tesla, you're too biased towards electricity. Tesla. Electricity I am, or if you wish, I am the electricity in the human form. You are electricity too, Mr. Smith, but you do not realize it. Journalist. Is it thus your ability to allow fails of electricity of 1 million volts through your body? Tesla. Imagine a gardener who is attacked by herbs. This would indeed be crazy. Man's body and brain are made from a large amount of energy. In me there is a majority of electricity. The energy that is different in everyone is what makes the human, I or soul. For other creatures their essence. Soul of the plant is the soul of minerals and animals. Brain function in death is manifested into light. My eyes in youth were black, now blue, and as time goes on and strain the brain gets stronger, they are closer to white. White is the color of heaven. Through my window one morning landed a white dove, which I fed. She wanted to bring me a word that she was dying. From her eyes, the light jets were coming out. Never in the eyes of any creature had I not seen so much light, as in that pigeon. Journalist. personnel in your lab speak about flashes of light, flames, and lightning that occur if you are angry or into kind of a risk. Tesla. It is a psychic discharge or a warning to be alert. The light was always on my side. Do you know, I discovered the rotating magnetic field, an induction motor, which made me become famous when I was 26. One summer evening in Budapest, I watched my friend Szigeti Gem sunset. Thousands of fire was turning around in thousands of flaming colors. I remembered Faust and recited his verses, and then, as in a fog, I saw a spinning magnetic field, an induction motor. I saw them in the sun. Journalist. Hotel service telling that, at the time of lightning, you isolate into a room and talk to yourself. Tesla. I talk with lightning and thunder. Journalist. With them? What language, Mr. Tesla? Tesla. Mostly my native language. It has the words and sounds, especially in poetry, what is suitable for it. Journalist. Readers of our magazine would be very grateful if you would interpret that. Tesla. The sound does not exist only in the thunder and the lightning, but in transformation into the brightness and color. A color can be heard. Language is of the words, which means that it is from the sounds and colors. Every thunder and lightning are different and have their names. I call some of them by the names of those who are close to me in my life, or by those whom I admire. In the sky brightness and thunder live my mother, sister, brother Daniel, a poet, Jovan Jovanovic Ziemaj, and other persons of Serbian history. Names such as Isaiah, Ezekiel, Leonardo, Beethoven, Goya, Faraday, Pushkin, and all other burning fires mark shoals and tangles of lightning and thunder, which does not stop all night, bringing to the earth precious rain and burning trees or villages. There is lightning and thunder, and they are the brightest and most powerful, that will not vanish. They are coming back, and I recognize them among the thousands. Journalist. For you, science or poetry is the same? Tesla. These are the two eyes of one person. William Blake was taught that the universe was born from imagination, that it maintains and will exist as long as there is a last man on earth. With it was a wheel, which astronomers can collect the stars of all the galaxies. It is the creative energy, identical to the light energy. Journalist. Imagination is more real to you than life itself? Tesla. It gives birth to the life. I have fed my thought. I have learned to control emotions, dreams, and visions. I have always cherished and nurtured my enthusiasm. All my life I spent in ecstasy. This was the source of my happiness. It helped me during all these years to bear with work, which was enough for the 5 lives. The best is to work at night, because the stellar light and close bond. Journalist. You said that I am, like every being, the light. This flatters me, but I confessed, I do not quite understand. Tesla. Why would you need to understand, Mr. Smith? Surface it to believe it. Everything is the light. In one, its ray is the fate of nations. Each nation has its own ray. In what great light source we see as the sun. And remember, no one who was there did not die. They transformed into the light, and as such, exist still. The secret lies in the fact that the light particles restore their original state. Journalist: this is the resurrection? Tesla: I prefer to call it return to a previous energy. Christ and the several others knew the secret. I am searching how to preserve human energy. It is forms of light, sometimes straight like heavenly light. I have not looked for it for my own sake, but for the good of all. I believe that my discoveries make people's lives easier and more bearable, and channel them to spirituality and morality. Journalist: do you think that time could be abolished? Tesla: not quite, because the first feature of energy is that it transforms. It is in perpetual transformation, as clouds of Taoists. But it is possible to leverage the fact that a man preserves consciousness after the earthly life. One of them is immortality, whose origin is outside of man waiting for him. The universe is spiritual. We are only half that way. The universe is more moral than us, because we do not know his nature and how to harmonize our lives with it. I am not scientist. Science is perhaps the most convenient way to find the answer to the question that always haunts me, and which my days and nights turned into fire. Journalist: what's the matter? Tesla: how are your eyes brightened? What I wanted to know is, what happens to a falling star as the sun goes out? Stars fall like dust, or a seed in this, or in other worlds. And the sun be scattered in our minds. In the lives of many beings, what will be reborn as a new light, or cosmic wind scattered in infinity. I understand that this is necessarily included in the structure of the universe. The thing is, true is that one of these stars and one of these suns, even the smallest, preserves. Journalist: but Mr. Tesla, you realize that this is necessary and is included in the constitution of the world. Tesla: when a man becomes concussed, that his highest goal must be to run for a shooting star and tries to capture it, shall understand that his life was given to him because of this and will be saved. Stars will eventually be capable to catch. Journalist: and what will happen then? Tesla: the Creator will laugh and say, "It fall only that you chase her and grab her." Journalist: isn't all of this contrary to the cosmic pain, which so often you mention in your writings? And what is it, cosmic pain? Tesla: no, because we on Earth, it is an illness, whose existence the vast majority of people are not aware of. Hence many other illnesses, suffering, evil, misery, wars, and everything else which makes human life an absurd and horrible condition. This disease cannot be completely cured, but awareness shall make it less complicated and hazardous. Whenever one of my close and dear people were hurt, I felt physical pain. This is because our bodies are made as of similar material and are so related with unbreakable strands. Incomprehensible sadness that overwhelmed us at times means that somewhere, on the other side of this planet, a child or generous man died. The entire universe is in certain periods sick of itself and of us. Disappearance of a star and the appearance of comets affect us more than we could imagine. Relationships among the creatures on the earth are even stronger. Because of our feelings and thoughts, the flowers will scent even more beautiful, or will fall in science. These truths we must learn in order to be healed. Remedy is in our hearts, and evenly in the heart of animals that we call the universe.